Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today, and it is our Sunday edition. We have a nice 11-race card this afternoon, fast main track, firm turf course. No turf course today. I'm sorry. I'm so used to saying that. We're off the turf this afternoon. All those races will be moved to the Tapeta. I think it's 4, 9, and 11 will move to the Tapeta this afternoon, and we got to deal with it and whatever. But it's a beautiful day here in South Florida. Otherwise,
it is. The rain came last night as we were walking out. And so it is what it is. I saw the big puddles today on the way in. So, yeah, we lose those 3 races. Stayed together relatively well, I think, and that's the benefit of having the Tapeta.
You make a good point. Over the years, that's how I judge if we're going to be off the turf the next day. If I see certain size puddles, especially by the railroad tracks when I'm driving in, and go, off the turf, because it's that way. So what a great day of racing yesterday.
Phenomenal. The Holy Bull didn't disappoint, maybe a little bit of an upset, but as we talked off the air, White Barrio ran a 97, if that's your thing. It's a very fast figure for a 3-year-old in early February, especially because I know the Withers winner ran a 78. He ran well too, but just, you know.
And there was a lot of trouble trips in there, so you got to do your you got to put your handicapping hats on when we come to the Florida Derby this year, a little further down the road. Got 10 points towards the Triple Crown there, so it's certainly good for those connections, and a good performance by that horse. Just had a perfect trip. $400,000 gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six this afternoon, which starts in race number 6. Of course, I'll have a ticket a little later on. $400,000. It's amazing to me, Brian, how fast this thing builds.
It's a phenomenon, that's for sure. And 400 in the kitty, and it's we just paid it out last Sunday with a pool over $6 million, and as you alluded to, Ronnie, already up to 400.
Yeah, when we first started out, albeit it was a 10-cent wager, then it went to 20 cents. It would take like a month to get to 200,000. Now it takes an hour and a half. So with that said, we also have a couple of pick fives today, and Brian put an early pick 5 ticket together.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it here. We'll talk about the opener shortly, and then it's a little spready in race 2, 3, and 4. Top pick number 7, Kitten Street in race 2. He scratched out of the finale yesterday that you almost tried to boot home with your long shot. I don't want to bring it up too much. Number 7 in race 3, Stupendous, the firster. There's the deep spread in race 4, my long shot. Jerry's coming back today, Ronnie. Yeah. Jerry's turn's getting it done today. And then the single in the get out leg. Number 5 for Roddy Valente, Born a Gambler, going to be a very short number.
Yeah, and a good race. That race, by the way, the race 4 is the first of 3 races taken off the turf. So we don't lose horses like we used to when we went from turf to dirt. It was certainly, I think there was one or no scratches in that race, well, maybe one. This first race is about a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. Maiden claim is 4 and up. I went to the inside horse in here with the number 1, Jen, beating the neck at this level of competition. That was going 9 furlongs. 2 starts back, drops, failed to handle the jump up last time out to the 25 level. Luis Saez, what a day yesterday. He's going to ride for Joel Santiago.
Well, the last thing you just said to me is significant. I mean, this is a barn that hasn't had a win on the year, and here's Luis popping up. So, anytime I see that kind of move, I do think it's significant. The run 2 back was a very, very solid second. Didn't fire last time, but it was against better, and it was a fast race for the level. So let's focus on the race 2 back. I think it plays in here.
Well, your top pick in here is a logical contender, and that is But I Did.
Yeah, we got a replay here. We've got several to show today. Now, this one picks it up on the backstretch, and here he is in those Stone Farm colors. But he was also very, very wide into the first turn. So, take note of that also. Now, you're going to see a pretty powerful middle move here. And, maybe he predictably tired. Maybe he moved too early in this spot. But he's going to loop the field. And actually, you would have thought he was a winner, and he just tired late. Now he returns off the freshening. He's going to have blinkers on for the second time. He's going to get the ultimate equipment change, Ronnie, as a first-time gelding. Graham Motion here. He's had a very, very strong championship meet. He almost upset the Swedish Chant yesterday with Ambatus, and I think he's got a big chance here to take the opener with But I Did.
Paco Lopez in the saddle. So good performance, and Graham, like you said, just having a fantastic meet. The number 6 horse in here, Super Position, is primed to, ready probably to offer more after returning from the 8-month layup to finish his stalk to pace third at this level and distance. Antonio Sano is the trainer this afternoon.
Yeah, I could almost show a replay of this one too, because he basically did the exact same thing that But I Did do. He moved early, paid the price for it, tired late, and he ran faster when doing it as well. He's going to be a huge player. We look at the board here over to the left of our screen, Ronnie. We got a tepid, very early, obviously. Yeah. Look at the betting race here, though. A tepid 3-1 favorite down inside, and I'm looking looking at 7 horses at 7 to 1 or under.
Yeah, you like those kind of bets. Wide open and fair to start the first of 2 pick 5s this afternoon. Going to race number 2 this afternoon. 7 furlongs. Claimers 4 and up, $6,250. Clean slate, no scratches, no jockey changes. You did go with the number 7 horse in here, so take it away. I used that one a little further down.
Yeah, I don't know if he's loose in here. Under the Apprentice Holmes, who got her first win the other day, which is super cool to see, but he's definitely pressing the issue from the outside. As I mentioned, he was in the nightcap yesterday. I had him picked in there. I'm going to come back right to him here on the dirt here going 7. Might be a better trip, too, and he really, really woke up last time at a huge number. That's the one that she won on, so now we're right back. Can he do it again? You're not going to get the 28 to 1 anymore, but I still think he's in it with a big, big chance.
82 buyer in that race.
Yeah.
You know, just jumped off the page off that performance there. I did go with the horse you have in second, Long Beach Kid, who's changing barns, going to the Jose D'Angelo barn after the claim. Tracked the pace, finished third, going a mile against similar quality. Arad Ortiz handles the turn back to 7/8 of a mile. And what I like to see when I handicap 7/8 is a horse who won at the distance and 1 for 1 going 7/8 of a mile.
Yeah, and Jose's just been firing. He's 31% off the claim, and no disrespect to Marcos Meneses, who's done a very good job. But now we go to Irad. There's a lot to like here.
And you had the number 6 horse, I believe, in third, and that is Plato.
Yeah, for Tammy Levy, he can get a piece in here on the drop and on the cutback. A lot of foundation with 2 turns. I like that going 7 furlongs too. And now we cut back.
I was joking with you the other day with the number 2 Dizzy Gillespie, who has made more starts than my 210 Ford Bronco, and cuts back to 7 furlongs. Peter Wald and Corey Landry. This is start 52. I only got 51 out of my Ford before I had to sell it.
Yeah, there it is, right on the paper too. I can see it. So
it's in the form. It's in the program. I mean, so good second race this afternoon. Got to have some fun in this game.
There we
you know
go.
What I mean? All right, let's go to race number 3, going back to the all-weather surface at about 5 furlongs. Tapita Maiden Fillies, 3-year-olds, 25 down to 20. Nice full field of 10 in here. And Brian, once again, you were stupendous yesterday, and that's who you're using right here.
I don't know about that. But I went with 2 firsters in here, Ronnie, and you look at the proven runners, and I use that term loosely because they haven't done any real running. And now we've got firsters Stupendous, and we've got firsters Bunny on the Beast for Cassie and Irad on the 7, and Sharp works here as well. And you know how we know Mark is really strong on the Tapita, on the all-weather, and now he reaches for Irad, and just to me says there's a little intent here. And regardless of who you're picking on the proven runners, they don't really inspire me. So I thought it might be the right time to take a shot with a firster.
Yeah, I went with the number 6, Sensational Grace, as a daughter of Golden Sense, debuting for David Fawkes. Yeah. Sports that solid 33% win average with the Tapita runners and 18% with his debut maiden Claimers. We're playing the percentages with this horse with Louis Sayers in the saddle. Stormy Stella, the number 9 in here, moves to the Gerald Brooks barn after the claim, turns back. I found the stat on Gerald Brooks. First after the claim on all-weather surfaces, he's pretty solid. He's 8 for 32, 25%. He's in the money 50% of the time. 275 is the return investment. That's just over the past 2 years. So good stats with Gerald Brooks, and that's all weather. Whatever you want to call it, Tapita, all weather. We don't like synthetic. That's why we're not going to say that. So Stormy Stella is on there. So I threw that one in second, 6, 9, and like you said, you went with a couple of first.
I went with 3 of them. Yeah,
3 of them.
Because I've got your 6 in there, and I'll try to split them with Kelsey Danner and Bunny on the Beast. And Kelsey, not a huge sample, does a very good job at 17% with her firsters, 22% in sprints, 23% in maiden claimers. You said the percentages. A lot of it stacks up to the first-time starters, I think.
Yeah. Race number 4 this afternoon was scheduled for the turf to be run about a mile in the 16th on the all-weather Tapita surface, maiden special weight 4 and ups. And this is, we had a couple of scratches in here of the 1 and 6, and I went with the number 8 Deep State. I'll kick it off here as a half-brother to one of my favorite turf horses that ever ran here, and that's Heart to Heart. This one returns after rallying to finish second in special weight race. Now, that race was moved from the Tapita to the from the turf to the Tapita, and that's exactly what this horse is doing today for Brian Lynch. Junior Alvarado having a nice meet, will be in the saddle.
Yeah, and he makes a lot of sense in here, and he's moving forward. He's only run 2 times. Let's just bring it up, guys, because we're going to show the replay, and it contains Jerry's turn, Crafty, the 5, and Deep State, the 8. Here we all are here. Jerry's coming back today, Ron. I'm telling you what. They're not known for coming back, but he is coming back today. So this is a flow race for me, okay? Here's Jerry's turn out, last, and this race held together. And I thought he was really the only closer, if we want to call him that, to make a dent late. You see there, he was beaten only a half length in fourth. It was an inside speed race. The horses that were 1-3-2 early came 1-2-3 late, okay? And here's Jerry's turn, and I didn't think he got anything good out of this, and he just missed. And I was picking him on turf. I'm certainly picking him on the Tapeta. I thought this was a very, very good run against the flow of the race in the racetrack. Here he is dipping down inside, making a strong late run. Hopefully it's a fairer, truer run race today, and I think Jerry's turn at a price can upset this field. And I know he's 0 for 13 with 6 underneath finishes. I get it all, but the price should be enough to come back.
I also used the number 9 in here. I know this one went to the Tapeta. This one debuting locally on that surface. Yeah. Rallied late to finish third in the special weight debut, going a mile. Up at Tampa on their turf course, Christophe Clement got a really good record with the Tapeta surfaces. And our ads there atop this Son of American Pharaoh, who's a half-brother to a $1.2 million earner called Om. I like saying that, Om. So I think this horse got some nice breeding, and maybe, Christophe has done good on the Tapeta.
Absolutely, and this horse is firmly in my early pick 5 as well. I didn't really like the post, but off that debut, he's in with a big, big chance. You could argue he's the horse to beat, Rob.
Let's go to race number 5 this afternoon. This one is about a mile 70 yards. Once again, on the Tapeta. Starter optional claimer for 3-year-olds, starter for $35 or less, or that optional tag of $35,000. And the number 5, Born a Gambler, looks like a logical contender. We did have a scratch at the 1, so tell us about Born a Gambler.
We'll show the replay, too. I mean, he ran huge last time. He ran every bit as good as his stablemate in the winner. Here he is, the 5. And I just wanted to show this about the first 30, 35 seconds of this race, how hard he had to work to get clear. And, this is if you need a single, this is it. I mean, he's going to be odds on in here. But here you see him, the 5 with the Roddy Valenti colors there. And he's got to work hard before he assumes command. And I think that, he won the battle, lost the war kind of angle. Steel City Dude is very, very good. And there's Steel City Dude, the 6, just kind of sitting back, licking his chops, while Born a Gambler has got a duel early with a 9-1 that wasn't, really around at the end. And then, he's a little leg weary late, and it's very predictable. Now he's going to run off and finally get clear, but the dirty work was done. It sets it up for Steel City Dude. He's not meeting any Steel City Dudes today, and, we talked to Roddy last night, and it's kind of like, well, this is his race. He's got to win today, and I think he's in a very, very good spot. He's a very, very short price, admitted, but here's your single to end that early pick 5.
Yeah, David Forks, the trainer, at second-time Lasix, second-time blinkers, and has Arad Ortiz Jr. in the saddle, so just piling on why this horse is going to be odds on. Number 2, Keto Dan, is in for the 35 tag in this starter optional claimer. Drops with Lasix added after rallying to finish third. That was against 75 optional claimers going a mile 70 on the Tapeta for Jorge Delgado. And you got Hall of Famer Javier Castellano, won the last night.
He did. He won the last to your detriment.
Yeah, so whatever.
Whatever. This is a class drop. You mentioned the Lasix as well. He's in with a chance in here if he wakes up on the drop.
Did you ever drink Tang?
I've had it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had it. Maybe I did. It probably did somewhere along the line.
I mean, you probably had it.
I did. Dropping after responding to the first race after the claim by Joe Orsino, so fifth against those 50 starter optional claimers.
Moving forward, right? Class drop, lightly raced with upside. No, it wouldn't be a surprise if Born a Gambler stubs his toe a little bit.
Let's take a break. Come back. Rainbow 6 time.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Round off first inside. Race. And a quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back. Gulfstream today. Ron and Brian, if you're just joining us, fast main track. No turf racing this afternoon. We had 3 on the turf. Those were moved to the all-weather Tapeta surface. And the 6th race is 6 furlong maiden special weight fillies. Beautifully bred horses in here. And that's where we start the Rainbow 6. And we'll see how my ticket plays out. We'll talk about the 6th in a minute. Just going with 2 in race number 7 with Favor and Me Nagrita. And then in race number 8, got some coverage in there with Prince of Iam, Yes I Beast, and Never Satisfied. In race number 9, that's one of those races taken off the turf today. I stuck with Shinobi, and I also used Discreet Tune, who was pretty nice, winning on the all-weather surface last time out. I think Raise the Rent is the one to beat, but Mish is going to be real strong in there with Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle. And in the last race, 1, 4, and 8, Tapit Brio was my long shot, kept it on top today, even though I like this one a little better on the turf, but you're going to get a big price on that horse this afternoon. So getting back to the 6th race, interesting to see how you played it out.
This is, I think, through and through, from top to bottom, the best maiden race we've run at the championship meet. I mean,
Wow.
There's pedigree galore in here. You get the benefit of kicking off the Rainbow 6 by looking at the board, and I highly recommend it because there are so many high-quality first-time starters from Ace Barnes in here. I went with the number 9 on the outside, Sadie Bear, for David Fawkes. And, you know, I don't have anything on this horse, but they paid a big number for a son of the Big Beast as a 2-year-old in training. The dam was 1 for 2, third foal. The other 2 were okay. Luis Saez is here, Ronnie, and this is a big, high purchase 2-year-old in training. The Works Whisper ready. Check out that New Year's Eve work right here. I just think this horse is ready to roll today, and maybe some of these other hot firsters might need a little more ground, maybe a little more experience.
I did go with a horse you had a little further down, and that is Osaria. This one, the number 2, is a $400,000 daughter of Malibu Moon and a full sister to $1.3 million Ernest Stanford. Debuting for Christophe Clement. Lasix, solid work tab showing up at Payson Park. Tyler Gaffleone's going to jump aboard, and that's just to allude that just one of many in here that are beautifully bred. So I went with that horse you had a little further down. Yep. Probably the one, the morning line favorite, I would think, would be Aerobatic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Juddmonte homebred for Chad Brown and Irad here. Second full out of the dam, and the other one was unraced. Dam was 3 for 9, won her first 2 starts, a Group 3 in Europe. So there's plenty to like here. The works don't necessarily tell you anything, but Chad's not going to work them, you know, crazy in the morning either. And I just think the fact that Irad's here says this one can run a little bit too. A daughter of Arrogate out of Medallion d'Oro mare. Contention runs really deep in here, Ron.
I wanted to ask you just a moment about the 6, who's 20 to 1 on the morning line. It's a daughter of Tappan and a full sister, the Grade 1 winner. Tapper at debuting with Lasix, MCL Jaramillo. I mean, maybe you don't know the connections as well.
Yeah.
This horse is beautifully bred at 20 to 1. I'm thinking I got to throw this one on, especially with the Minister of Speed, MCL Jaramillo, in the saddle today when you're going 3/4 of a mile.
I agree, and the damn appealing Zophie was pretty good herself. You mentioned the Tapper, so maybe this horse wants to run farther, but the works are solid. You mentioned Jaramillo is here as well, and I like this draw, too. I like being outside a little bit with some of these first-time starters. This is a race where, regardless of who wins and who loses, I think you need to take note of the also-rans.
Yeah, and it's so great to have Acacia in the walking ring a little later on because she can point out who's looking good and knows a lot about breeding like this guy does right here. 7th race this afternoon, a 1 mile allowance optional claimer, fillies 3-year-olds, or the optional tag of $75,000. And do me a favor, show me the replay of Favor.
Let's look at Favor, and there's nothing here. It's just a really, really nice filly that's going to run off the screen, and she's going to do it with class. She's going to do it with authority in her second start for Todd and Stone Street Stables, and Paco Steck's here, obviously, and you just see how easily she did it, and I just feel like, yeah, we're going to see her in an optional claimer today. We might see her maybe in the Devona Dale next time or something like that, because Paco's just got a handful here. He's looking over. He doesn't have to look right here, by the way, when we get to the finish line. She's just going to win with complete authority.
Well, the reason I wanted to show that, I want to know if you singled this in your late pick 5.
We'll show it here. The late pick 5, she drifts a little bit. I don't really know what to make of that, but I've got back-to-back singles to start this off, and I lost my best bet of the day. Prince of Iron's going to be a heavy choice in race a zero opinion in race 9 or 10. As you can see, if you want the top choice, it's Discreet Tune in race 9. It's Handsome Prince in race 10. The single, my new best bet of the day, is in the finale. Streaming Tap, Maker, and IRAD off the claim. There it is. 3 heavy opinions, 2 zero opinions. 1750. It was originally a lot bigger than that. I like this more condensed version. Favor is going to be, oh boy, 1 to 5 to kick it off, maybe.
Yeah, I sort of guessed that was going to be your single in there with that ticket. Did you use the one a little further down? Now you're going to talk about the one I had favorite for all the reasons you just mentioned.
Talk about the one, though, because I thought she ran huge last
Well,
time.
she steps up to face winners after responding to the stretch out to the mile with that solid maiden victory here. Todd Pletcher, you know how good he is winning consecutive races. He had a fantastic day. $500,000 daughter, Pioneer of the Nile. And guess what? Since then, firing bullets up at Palm Beach Downs.
Yeah, I mean, she takes all the best of it, all the worst of it in here if you're from a betting standpoint. But, yeah, she's going to be very, very tough to beat. If you want to nitpick, she faces winners. I get that. But she's going to be imposing in here. I do want to mention the one. I'm glad you have her in second. I have her in third. Yes, she lost by over 8 lengths to Kathleen O, who's very, very good for Shug. She ran absolutely huge last time. She completely bottomed out the field and hung around for second. Does she regress? Maybe. I just want to give her credit for a huge run.
Yeah, Armando de la Cerda, Junior Alvarado returning on, looks to me, is that the inside speed?
Oh, clearly. After
Clearly,
that race,
yeah. And then I used Rosie Apple, making the third start of her current form cycle, stretching out to the 1 mile after rallying to finish an improved third, going 6. Ronnie Spatz, he's good with this angle sprint to route. Luis Saez added real estate.
Yeah, 32% off this little mini layoff, too. Ronnie's quietly had a very, very good championship meet.
Yeah, definitely. 8th race, 6 furlong starter, optional claim, a 3-year-old starter for 35 or less, or the optional tag of 35. Scratch the 8, jockeying on the 4 is Edgar Prado. You go with the 6, another single of yours for David Falk. Hey, you like David today.
I like David a lot today, and I had a crazy best bet of the day in here that scratches out Eye of the Temple. You look at this field, Ron, and there are so many horses that want to go early. They want to be in front. They want to hear their feet rattle. They want to tangle early. Prince of Iron doesn't need to do that, and he's just going to be sitting back, licking his chops. Saez, he almost did it yesterday. He had a great ride on Opalina, your top pick in that race, where he did the same kind of thing. They went crazy early. He was in the catbird seat. To me, it's that type of trip today with Prince of Iron, just a little bit off the speed. Let them burn themselves out, take over.
Brian's been here for a while now, and I think it might be the first time that about 5. First time we've ever had a cold super. I think for the whole meet.
Good TV.
As far as I know. Yes, I'm a beast. Lived up to his name when he responded in the first race after the claim by Bill Theranos. That's a sneaky good angle. First off the claim by Bill. Front running score over Prince of Iron last out. It can be deja vu all over again, as Yogi Berra used to say.
Is that one of the things he said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Billy does a good job, and he's had a good meet. And this horse ran huge last time to gut it all out on the lead. He might do it again. He's going to have to because there's speed all around him.
Let's go to race number 9 this afternoon. Originally scheduled for the turf to be run at about 5 furlongs on the all-weather Tapeta. Allowance optional claim of 4-year-olds and up. The optional tag is $25,000. Had a scratch of the number 9 in here. I'll start it off before we show you replay in here with the number 2, Chinobi, who's debuting locally for Larry Ravelli after returning from a layoff in the Windy City to finish second against allowance runners, going 5.5 on the dirt at Hawthorne. The barn, they have Gerardo Corrales handling, a horse that I think can run well in here, but Larry's not been lighting it up that much.
He hasn't, but even Acacia and I talked about this the other day. He hasn't been lighting it up because he's about 35% on everything he does. He's still 19%. Let's not cry for Larry. He's having a solid meet. If you're not familiar with this rider, he's 41% with Larry, too. By the way. That's pretty good, too. And somehow they've got a positive ROI, too, because you know how heavy Larry's horses get bet. If I had to nitpick a little bit, this horse blew a 4-length late lead last time, and there is a ton of speed in here.
So you went with Discreet Tune on top of your ticket, who used this tactical speed to defeat those state-bred optional claimers in a race move from turf to the Tapeta, which is happening again today. It's Carlos David with the Luis Saez.
Yeah, and I think moving this one to the Tapeta, he probably gets helped more than anyone. He looked really good last time. He doesn't have to be on the lead, but he's also not giving away anything early. Luis rode him last time. I think that's a positive, too.
Now, what about Lord of the Legend?
Let's show a replay here. He's the number 1 horse in here, and it's a trip here that's going to seemingly play out again here. Look at, he's off 2 dueling leaders. He's supposed to win this race. He does win this race. He wins it the right way. And the reason I wanted to show it is because, again, he's one of a few horses in here. Maybe Discreet Tune is the other one. He's one of a few in here that can settle off the speed. I think there's a lot of it. He's going to tip out here and just blow by. And I think he's got a chance in here. Maybe he's a little bit of a price in here. I mean, he's a little slow on paper. Maybe he's got a chance in here at a little bit of an upset, at a little bit of a price at 8 to 1 on the morning line. I think that's fair. I think that's square. He's going to trip out again in here. Is he this kind? Can he beat this level? I don't know, but don't sleep on him.
Yeah, I mean, great. That's the way you can win on this turf course, especially if you get that purple table setter in front of you. So also use the number 5 Partners Hope, who goes to Elizabeth Doblesbon. I like that after the claim. Finally notching that elusive maiden victory against those 40 maiden optional claimers, going 5 on this surface. 33% with new claims at this meet here, and you get Jose Ortiz handling the surface switch.
Very solid, and he's got a hint of a rating gear, too. Facing winners today. Very tough to improve off Danny Gargano.
Let's go to race number 10 this afternoon. 6 furlongs, allowance optional claimer state bred 4 and up. The optional claiming tag, $12,500. And the horse named after you, the Handsome Prince, you have right on top.
Boy, bringing out the Ford Bronco and the Handsome Prince here today. I have zero opinion in this race. It's impossible to me. The dart landed on Handsome Prince. Maybe he's cycling back around. 61 to 1 last time. That is long gone today, Ronnie. But he ran an 8 last time. He's got a 6 showing 4 races back. I'm just wondering if maybe he's cycling back around. He's got a hint of a rating gear in a race with a lot of speed. I find this race impossible. If nothing else, I think you want to look for a little bit of value.
The number 7 Race to Rent is wheeling back after responding in that first race after the claim by Kelly Breen with a duel throughout 4th, beating the neck against Similar with Paco, getting the riding assignment, got a stat on Kelly Breen. Second after the claim in sprints on the dirt, he's 11 for 31, 35%, 65% in the money. 234 is the return of investment, so all positive numbers over the past 5 years with second after the claim. So that's an angle I like with Kelly Breen. And I also used the 4. I don't know if you used it, you'll use it a little further down. Mish, who was a nose in front of Raise the Rent, went 3rd in the 4-horse blanket finish last time out. That was a good race if you get a chance to go back. Tyler Gaffalione handling. This one's going to be part of the pace.
So here's the thing about that race. They all come across on a blanket finish, and it's like, how do you separate them? And I agree, Mitch is firmly in the mix. Safi wins the Holy Bull yesterday. We'll show it in a second. So I just think you have to use them all. It's impossible to separate them.
Yeah, so it's good that you went deep on your ticket. Now, final race. 1 mile and 1/16 off the turf to be run on the Tapeta. A maiden optional claim is 3-year-olds, $50,000 in here. And your new best bet today is the number 4 Streaming Tap, who goes to the Mike Makerbon after the claim, after that couple of late closing outings sprinting on the Tapeta.
Yeah, let's bring up the final replay here. And this is another flow race. He had no chance here. You see him at the back of your screen here. The pace held that day, inside speed. Won the race. They were 1-2-4 early. They went 1-2-3 across the line. He's got no chance. He actually drops out of the screen here. He's going to come on late. It's not a great run by any means. I don't pretend to try to fool you with that, but he had no chance with the flow of this kind of race when they're going crazy up front, but they still holds together. Now we stretch out. He's still not even in your picture, by the way. Now we stretch out. He's Tapiture out of a Gone West mare. Certainly this helps. He's Maker off the claim with Irad. They're 30% together. Now, we lost some scratches in here, including Fiery Heart. So the value's gone, but he's my new best bet of the day. He's my single to end it. He's going to be running on late, and I think he gets a much better scenario today. I also think, Ron, on the stretch out, it'll be a lot closer.
Yeah, it'll be a lot closer today. And, I as I mentioned when I was showing you my Rainbow Six ticket, I really like Tapit Brio, the number 8, a little bit more on the turf, but I'm going to leave it in as my top pick in here. Stretching out to the mile in the 16th. What I liked was breaking from an improved post after chasing the pace, finishing fourth against this level of competition, albeit that was going a mile on the turf. I just see this one with some kind of speed in here. Maybe since a real nice talking trip, you're going to get a nice price on this. You know, Lily doesn't start that many horses here. So we'll see if Tap at Brio can do it. For all the reasons you mentioned, streaming Tap. And one other horse I wanted to touch on was Globes, who was solid on the Tapeta back in October. And that's the key for me. That when speed was not the prevailing theme on the Tapeta. So if you go back and look, and you trip notes from way back, very rare did horses go to the front of the Tapeta when we first started with it. You know, it had to build, whatever you want to say, get settled and everything. So that horse, I think, can run well in their Globes.
And Peter D, he didn't fire last time, but he was 3 for 3 on the Tapeta. He was an early lover of that. Mr. Rum Runner as well came right back to win. A very live race.
Yeah, so, you know, like you said, great race, and that's the 11 races. Brian's going to take you through the lightning round.
Yeah, we got a lot to do.
You got a lot to do, and he did all the hard work to get it ready for today, so I'm going to throw it to Brian.
That's highly debatable, but here's the Holy Bull to start, and we already talked about it, but White Abario was really, really good. Winning in fast time, a 97 buyer, if that's your thing. That's a big figure at this time of the year. And I want to, first of all, I want to mention everybody in this race. You know, he runs huge. He runs off. He wins comfortably. Simplification completely blows the break and somehow gets second. So not only did he, A, run big, B, I think Antonio and Javier found out, said, hey, we don't need to be on the lead, because he was the controlling speed in that race. He comes down and runs big, and then there's Mo Donegal as well running on late. To me, I might want him out of there too. And Giant Game, you know, he displaced for West Point and Dale Romans off that third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, so I think you can be a little forgiving of him. We'll see him again. We'll see him better. And I did see Kenny McPeak said he's going to try to test the bomb one more time on dirt too. So a lot going on there.
Yeah, a lot going on. Mo Donegal, that's a horse you want to look at in the Florida Derby when it comes around, because that horse was close. And talked to Irad after the race. You know, wouldn't you lose the start going to first finish line? He had to come around horses at the end, finished up strong, but do not take anything away from the first and second place finishes at all.
Yeah, kudos to Safi and White Abario, who, you know, he took him up to Churchill Downs, kind of tipped his hand, said, I like what I have here, and he was really, really good yesterday. Syed Stars, you see it right there on your screen. 3 stakes wins yesterday for Luis Saez. He just continues to dominate and be in top form. Here he is on My Prankster, gutting it out in the swale for Todd Pletcher. You know, we mentioned yesterday, it's kind of Todd's world. And Luis does it here, and he's going to win 2 more. And, you know, just flexing his muscles as the championship rider that he is.
Yeah, I mean, just had a fantastic day. And, you know, Louis is such a gentleman and a great guy. And, you know, our job yesterday, all of us, was to talk to the jockeys when he came in. Seemed like we only talked to Louis or Tyler Gaffleone in the whole day.
Yep, I got him after winning the Sweetest Chance, so we can bring it up here. And here's the undercard stakes, and we had 4 other grade 3s on the card, all for 3-year-olds, and we'll show the first one. Grand Sonata and Royal Spirit, the Todd Pletcher Exacta going down to the line. Royal Spirit trying to kick clear. And then, to be fair, you know, I liked Royal Spirit, my best bet of the day, but to be fair, the winner was much the best with a lot of stretch trouble.
Yeah, that Ray just had a lot of trouble. Talked to Tyler about that. He was hoping making here. We got one more coming up.
Yeah, Brad Cox shipping in the winner here, Girl with a Dream. And Radio Days, you know, Radio Days was undefeated coming in, odds on for Shug. I don't think she lost anything in defeat. She got run off her feet early. It was the start of a campaign. You know, I think Shug is probably, you know, happy with that effort. We can move forward off that.
Horse that I was talking about before and after the race yesterday was a Candyman Rocket for Bill Mott. I just thought, everybody's going, my goodness, this horse looks great. And we'll show you him. He was very impressive from the 12 post yesterday.
And I had him in second. I couldn't quite make him, but I did. Acacia and I were on for this race, and I just said, you know, prior, I just said, this might be one of those Bill Mott 4-year-olds now that was okay at 3, and now he's a bigger, stronger, tougher version at 4. You just saw it there on your screen. I think you picked him, and he might be going places this year. He's all right.
He looked fantastic, and I always have to check with Acacia. Well, by the way, he'll be joining us just a couple of moments after Pete gives you the scratches and jockey changes. He said, did this horse look as good as I think it does? And she said, okay. So that's it for us. We'll be back, as I said, a couple of moments with Acacia. Have a great afternoon, everybody. We done?
I think we're done. That's all I got.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place.
We back.
Northern Dancer, winner of the Florida Derby.
Yeah.
All the history, all these great horses, trainers, jockeys.
It is Barbaro to the final furlong. He is a neck and front. Barbaro wins!
It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Sunday silence surges to the front.
First day, opening day of the championship meet, I was kind of starstruck. You're watching LeBron James, and then next thing you know, you're playing basketball against him. That's how I felt when I'm riding with Donnie V, riding with Irad, Luis.
So many famous people come. Post Malone, Pharrell, J-Lo was there. It's epic.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
It's all about Knicks Go. Knicks Go makes it 4 in a row.
It's one of the most beautiful tracks in the country, surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders. It's amazing.
I'd always had a really deep love of animals. When I started riding, I felt that instant connection. It was this horse, Siren, that she was a thoroughbred, she'd been on the racetrack. It really shaped me growing up because I had to learn how to be confident, but I also had to be compassionate. And she really was that first love I had of a horse.